You thought skipping checked bags would save you money, time, and stress. But in 2025, your carry-on is treated like contraband. You paid, you packed smart, you showed up early, and yet, your bag is tagged for exile at the gate. Every traveler thinks it's bad luck, a crowded flight, an overzealous agent, but what if it isn't random at all? This chaos, it's engineered. A quiet system designed to work against you while airlines profit in ways you're never told. And here's the part almost no traveler ever realizes. Once your bag leaves your hands, so does your control. And the clock starts ticking on hidden fees, stress, and delays you were trying to avoid. But there is a way to beat it. A strategy that smart travelers use to turn this rigged game in their favor. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how. You thought your carry-on was your ticket to freedom. No lines, no waiting, no baggage carousel roulette. But here's the truth airlines don't spell out. In 2025, a carry-on can cost more than a checked bag. Travelers walk in with a neatly packed roller only to be slapped with a surprise charge, sometimes $65 or more, right there at check-in. That's not convenient, that's a toll gate. And it doesn't stop there. Even if you pay the fee, you're not guaranteed control. At the gate, airlines quietly force carry-ons into the belly of the plane. They call it gate checking. You call it losing access to your laptop, your medication, the things you actually need within reach. What looks like chaos at the boarding line is actually by design. Every gate check, every hidden fee adds to an industry that makes billions by pushing passengers into frustration and compliance. If you've ever been burned by one of these surprise fees, drop your story in the comments. Your frustration today could save another traveler tomorrow. Look closely at any boarding gate and you'll notice the same strange ritual. Dozens of passengers inch closer to the podium before their group is even called. This is what frequent flyers call gate lice, a mix of anxiety, impatience, and the quiet fear of being left behind. Why does this happen? It's not just impatience. Airlines designed the system to create urgency. When overhead bin space feels scarce, people instinctively crowd forward, desperate to claim their spot. It's a stress response the industry counts on. The result is an awkward standoff. Strangers press shoulder to shoulder, wasting energy while the actual boarding process grinds on slowly. Some people even block walkways or lean against the ropes, creating tension for everyone else. And here's the irony. Hovering at the gate doesn't get you on the plane faster. It only makes the environment more stressful and reinforces the feeling that air travel is rigged against you. If you're tired of boarding stress, hit that subscribe button, because the tips coming up will make sure you never have to hover at a gate again. Here's the truth airlines don't want you to realize. The real shift in travel isn't about cramming more into a carry-on. It's about ditching it altogether. Think about it. That rolling suitcase isn't just luggage, it's a trap. It locks you into overhead bin roulette, surprise gate checks, and the constant worry that your most valuable things might vanish somewhere between two cities. But a personal item? That's freedom. You walk on the plane without stress, no fees, no arguing over space. Everything you care about is literally under your control, inches from your feet. And this is how the smartest travelers quietly beat the system. They aren't dragging bags through the terminal like everyone else, they're slipping on board with one bag that works harder than it looks. But here's the real question. How do you fit everything you need into a single bag that has to slide under the seat in front of you? That's where strategy and a few overlooked hacks make the difference. And once you see how it's done, you'll never look at travel the same way again. Have you ever noticed how most travelers carry the same stress with them? Literally. Bulky carry-ons, crammed zippers, and a scramble for overhead space. But the real secret isn't about carrying more, it's about carrying smarter. The first shift is in the way you pack. Ordinary folding wastes space and creates wrinkles. But the military figured this out decades ago. The Ranger roll, sometimes called the Army roll, turns every shirt or pair of jeans into a tight, compact cylinder. Suddenly, the same space that once held 3 shirts now holds 5, and they come out looking fresh, not crumpled. Now layer on the second move, compression packing cubes. These aren't just bags, they're pressure systems. A bulky sweater or winter jacket that normally swallows half your bag becomes a flat, brick-shaped block. It's like unlocking hidden compartments inside your backpack, space most people never even realize they have. But the real magic happens before you even start rolling. It begins with choosing the right bag. A structured tech backpack or slim travel bag designed for underseat dimensions gives you a precise frame. No wasted corners, no sagging. Every inch counts, and when you combine the Ranger roll with compression cubes, that small bag suddenly carries the weight of a full suitcase without the baggage claim anxiety. I tested this on a 5-day trip to New York City. Every outfit, toiletries, even a pair of extra shoes. Everything fit under the seat in front of me. No overhead bin, no delays, no risk of someone else crushing my laptop. Another time in the den of winter in Chicago, I pulled off the same trick with layers, coat, and boots included. It sounds impossible until you see the system working in real life. And here's a moment of truth. Most people who watch this will nod, agree, and then go right back to overpacking. But you're still here, which means you're different. You're not just watching travel tips, you're rewiring the way you move through the world. That deserves more than just a nod. It deserves freedom. So hit subscribe now because you know you've earned the right to travel without stress.
Airlines design cabins to squeeze every possible inch of space. But the truth is, you can quietly claim more comfort without paying $1. Here's how. Once the plane takes off and the seatbelt sign goes off, shift your personal bag just a few inches back under the seat. That subtle move creates more legroom, and suddenly a cramped seat feels less like a trap. The trick works because the airlines measure only the initial boarding space, not what happens once you're in the air. Now, let's talk about something most passengers get wrong: the seat pocket. It looks convenient, but putting your laptop there is one of the fastest ways to ruin it. Screens get crushed by seat reclines, edges snap under pressure, and worse, those pockets are rarely cleaned. Studies show they carry more germs than the tray tables. You don't need to imagine the risk. A viral TikTok showed a traveler pulling out a laptop with a cracked display destroyed mid-flight, all because it lived in the pocket for 2 hours. It's a mistake you only make once. So, keep your laptop in a slim protective sleeve, under the seat, or in the overhead bin, never in that pocket. A tiny shift in habits saves you hundreds of dollars. And yet, none of this matters if you don't even make it past security, because the biggest mistake travelers make happens before they ever reach the gate. Most passengers think they already know airport security. Shoes off, laptop out, liquids bagged. Simple, right? Not quite. What seems routine is actually where travelers lose the most time, and sometimes even their flight. Take the 3-1-1 liquids rule. Yes, it's still enforced. 3 ounces per container, 1 quart-sized bag, 1 bag per traveler. But here's the catch. Agents are trained to flag anything that even looks questionable. That artisanal jam you packed, that oversized toothpaste you thought was harmless, both can send you back to the line, costing you minutes you don't have. And then there are sharp objects. You'd be shocked at what people still try to sneak through. Pocket knives, corkscrews, even scissors. Not only does this trigger delays, but in many cases the passenger has to watch their belongings tossed into the disposal bin, gone for good. Now, here's something most travelers never consider: power banks. Portable chargers are lifesavers in an airport, but they're carry-on only. Place one in checked luggage, and your bag could be pulled aside, delayed, or even left behind. Airlines and TSA treat lithium batteries as a fire risk, a rule written in headlines after actual cabin fires trace back to battery packs. And speaking of headlines, fireworks, camping fuel, and yes, even meat cleavers, all real items confiscated at US airports. Each one a story of someone thinking, it won't be me, until it was. So how do you stay ahead? It's simpler than you think. Check the TSA's banned items list before you pack, or better yet, use @TSA on Twitter. Real agents reply in real time, clarifying what's allowed before you ever step into line. But here's the uncomfortable truth. One tiny mistake, a bottle of lotion, a forgotten tool, a misplaced power bank, can mean missed flights, missed meetings, missed vacations. Imagine standing at the gate while your plane leaves without you. That's why staying sharp on rules isn't optional, it's protection. And if you want to be the traveler who never holds up the line, subscribing right now means you'll always have the inside edge others wish they knew before it was too late. Traveling light isn't just about rules, it's about what happens when you step off that plane. No dragging a heavy bag through a crowded terminal, no waiting at baggage claim while everyone else fights for space. You walk straight out, free. It's the difference between stress and clarity, between feeling drained before your trip even begins and arriving with energy to spare. When you stop carrying what you don't need, you start carrying what matters: time, peace of mind, and the feeling that you're in control. Airlines profit when you make mistakes, but you're not giving them that satisfaction. You've outsmarted the game. You're not just saving money, you're saving your sanity. And here's the truth: once you travel this way, you'll never want to go back. The system is rigged, but strategy beats it every time. If this gave you a new way of thinking, hit like. Share it with a friend who always overpacks, they'll thank you later. And I want to hear your story. What's your worst TSA or airport experience? I read every single comment. And don't stop here, because in the next episode, we're breaking down what not to pack in your personal item. TSA doesn't mess around, and trust me, you don't want to get caught with this one.